Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and this is the weekly holiday show. I'm your host, Mr. James, and here are your selected holidays for the week of August 22nd through August 28th. Let's try to celebrate something. Hey, notice my new surroundings? You may be seeing this for a little while. So Sunday the 22nd, it is Tooth Fairy Day. Now, we're not going to have a discussion if you believe in the Tooth Fairy or not, because Tooth Fairy is one of several different healthcare fairies that came out in the early 1900s. And actually, my little notes here says that in 1927, a certain Esther Watkins Arnold made a 9-page playlet, which is like a pamphlet that's a little bit longer, called The Tooth Fairy, and kind of invented the Tooth Fairy. So 1927. Since then, children have been taught to brush their teeth, clean their teeth, and when they lose a tooth, put it under a pillow or hide it somewhere, and the Tooth Fairy will guarantee you some money of some sort or a treat. Yes, I believe the playlet taught parents how to benefit that deal as well. So think about the Tooth Fairy on this day, and if you're losing teeth and you want to put it on a pillow, better tell somebody else that that's what you're doing so that they know as well. All right? Monday the 23rd, it's Sponge Cake Day. Have you ever had sponge cake before? Some people call it angel food cake. It's really spongy. Now, I think angel food cake is a different type of kind of a type of sponge cake, but sponge cake is moist and puffy and really hard, I guess, to bake. It's really hard to get that together. Sponge cake originated in the Caribbean, and right here it says that it goes back to English poet Gervase Markham, who made a 1615 recipe that describes it. Now, see, in history, we want to know when something first happened. We have to look back from records, like notes or books that someone might write. And then we go, oh, that's the earliest time we saw that written down. So for sponge cake, it's 1615, but maybe before then they had sponge cake. Do you like cake? Try sponge cake. It's a little bit easier, I believe, to eat. It's spongy. Tuesday the 24th, it's Waffle Day. Waffles or pancakes? Ask that right now to yourself. Do you like waffles or pancakes better? Waffles, of course, have the little bumps and little ridges, the little pockets that can hold syrup and fruit and whatever, maybe some butter. Of course, you can see my Bitmoji here. I'm dancing with a breakfast, it looks like. And waffles are having a pretty good time with those imaginary arms and legs. Yay, dancing. Waffles have been around since the 14th century. It's a long time, the 1300s. But it was in 1869 that a certain Cornelius Swarthout of Troy, New York, I probably said his name wrong, sorry, patented the waffle iron, because you need a waffle iron to put the waffle batter into that shape, right? Otherwise, what are you making? Pancakes. And who likes those? There's no place to trap anything with those. Those are delicious too. What's the difference? Waffles have a little bit more fat and a little bit more protein so that they can hold together and be crispy on the outside. Yep. Wednesday the 25th, Kiss and Make Up Day. That doesn't mean you have to kiss somebody. Remember, pandemic is still around. That just means if there was a problem you had with somebody, you need to resolve it. Resolve it. Come to an agreement of some sort. And a long time ago, when I was younger, my mother always said, kiss and make up. And she didn't mean I was going to go and kiss somebody, but she says, say you're sorry, apologize, and come to an agreement so that you can move on, right? Move on. Don't let little tiny things get in your way. So kiss and make up on Wednesday or every day, right? Don't hold grudges. Doesn't work well for anybody, right? Thursday the 26th, Women's Equality Day. I know that should be every single day of the week, of the year, forever. But it was in this date in 1920 when women first were able to vote. 1920? Seriously? I know, I know. So we celebrate this momentous change, and it should have always been that way, but for some reason it took humankind a long time to realize that the equal counterpart to men should have had the same rights as men have always had. So think about that, 1920. And people are still fighting for women's rights, and I will still fight for women's rights. As it says on the screen, women's rights are human rights. It is. And there's a lot of lives that matter, and we could have a big discussion about this, but think about that on this day, what happened, and how we need to change things so that never happens again. Friday the 27th, Just Because Day. Right? Just because. Why am I wearing a shirt that says Huel on it, which is a certain drink that you can buy that takes, basically nutrients you need, and you can drink a meal, basically. It's a company that made it up in England. Why do we wear it? Just because. Just because. Why am I here in this room just because? Why don't I go do something just because today? Think about that. Do something you want just because. I want to eat some candy. Okay, why? Just because. I know it seems like an excuse, right? But maybe this is a day when you get to give yourself an excuse for doing something fun like that, or something you don't have to make an excuse for, because you did it just because. Saturday, the last one, the 28th, it is Rainbow Bridge Day, and I didn't want to end on a sad note, but I thought this holiday is something we should think about. When we have pets, inevitably they do not live forever. And when they pass, a lot of people say they went over the rainbow bridge. Now, it's a metaphor, it's something that someone made up a long time ago to think about that, but it's a very emotional time. We want to think that pets that have lived with us go on to a better place where they can rest. And it does make me feel really sad of the pets that I've had in the past that did not live, maybe by accident or old age. And you should think about the pets that you've owned, pets that you've cared about. We can care about people every single day of the year. And we should care about pets as well. But this is a day we can think about pets we've lost and think about the pets that we have that we care about, knowing that possibly someday we're going to have to think about this with them. So don't feel sad. I'm doing this because this is an important holiday, but it is good to think about things, right? Makes us alive to recognize emotions. We can't always be smiling, but after the tears, we can smile. So, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to these weekly videos. Thumbs up always helps. And please go and celebrate something.